Already facing a dizzying crossroads of nearly unprecedented legal and political challenges, Donald Trump's trail of criminal indictments has grown longer. The newest handed up late last evening by a Fulton County, Georgia grand jury. Mr. Trump hit with 13 charges, accusing him of being part of a conspiracy to unlawfully overturn the Georgia 2020 presidential election results after his loss. Mr. Trump is not facing the music alone. The sweeping indictment names 18 alleged co-conspirators, including Trump lawyer and former New York Mayor Rudy Giuliani. The Georgia case marking the fourth indictment of the ex-president since the end of March. 2 federal cases and 2 state prosecutions. Mr. Trump denying the latest accusations and blasting District Attorney Fani Willis, who has given Trump and the other defendants 10 days to surrender to authorities. Blayne Alexander leads us off tonight from Atlanta.
With his status as a Georgia defendant sealed, tonight former President Trump is on defense, slamming what he calls another partisan prosecution against him. He is now facing his 4th criminal indictment in nearly 5 months, a sweeping set of charges announced in a late-night news conference by Fulton County District Attorney Fani Willis.
The indictment brings felony charges against Donald John Trump.
She alleges Mr. Trump and 18 others unlawfully conspired in a criminal enterprise to try and overturn President Biden's narrow win in Georgia.
Rather than abide by Georgia's legal process for election challenges, the defendants engaged in a criminal racketeering enterprise to overturn Georgia's presidential election result.
Cameras tracked nearly every step as the indictment was brought to a judge and unsealed. Inside, 13 charges for Mr. Trump, including pressuring public officials to violate their oath, conspiracy to commit forgery, and making false statements. The indictment references this phone call with Georgia's Republican Secretary of State Brad Raffensperger, where Trump pressured the official to change the election outcome.
I just want to find 11,780 votes, which is one more than we have, because we won the state.
In a statement today, Raffensperger did not mention Trump by name, but wrote, "The most basic principles of a strong democracy are accountability and respect for the Constitution and rule of law. You either have it or you don't." The indictment also alleges Trump allies recruited individuals to convene and cast fake electoral college votes to disrupt and delay the Biden win. The DA is using the state's anti-racketeering law, which is modeled on RICO statutes, to charge all 19 defendants, including Trump attorney Rudy Giuliani, who helped pioneer the use of RICO laws to prosecute the mafia in New York. Giuliani is also charged with repeating false statements about the election to Georgia lawmakers. Tonight, he's calling the indictment the next chapter in a book of lies targeting Mr. Trump and his allies. Another high-profile defendant, former White House Chief of Staff Mark Meadows, also charged with trying to pressure officials. Tonight, he's filing to move the case to federal court. The Trump campaign is blasting the indictment, calling it the latest coordinated strike by a biased prosecutor in an overwhelmingly Democrat jurisdiction, something Willis strongly denies.
I make decisions in this office based on the facts and the law. The law is completely nonpartisan.
And Blayne, as I mentioned at the top of the broadcast, the DA now calling on Mr. Trump and the other defendants to surrender for an arraignment by the end of next week. What is that going to look like?
Well, that's right, Lester. Friday, August 25th at noon is the deadline. And because of Georgia law that allows cameras in the courtroom, it's very likely that we would see an arraignment play out on live TV.
Thanks for watching our YouTube channel. Follow today's top stories and breaking news by downloading the NBC News app.